Hiya, here we are with
Annette Johns.
Nice to meet you, Annette Johns. Obviously, we had a brief conversation earlier.
Yeah.
I looked at some of your pieces. Me being someone who appreciates Buddhism, I respect the life of everything from animal to human to insect.
Yeah.
What inspired this piece from you?
Well, so I started off looking at poetry and with themes of repression and just others imposing on other people, like doing horrible things to them without a second thought because they want to have power over something else. And just being really cruel. And then using animals as a way to represent this. So I've interviewed family and friends and other people to find a way to use it as metaphor, and came up with this piece. So all about how people don't really give a second thought to animals a lot of the time.
Obviously, you mentioned animals as insects. Is that to you? Is that a similar branch of?
Yeah, well, I've done some other pieces as well using a circus. So how just cooping up animals and not letting them live their lives at all, and people doing it for their own amusement, which is not fair. A lot of, especially with the bugs as well, they're just completely helpless and can't do anything about it. And people, mosquitoes and ants and things, they'll just be squished or burnt. And
do you know, when I was, it's make you laugh, when I was about 9 years old, right,
yeah.
I used to kill hundreds of ants in my garden, until one day I had a dream that a big ant came for me, and I never killed an ant again.
Really?
It's strange.
Yeah.
But, I mean, would you say your art's inspired from spiritualism, from within, or from what you see around you?
I'm very interested in the way society works, and just how mean people can be to others, like with really not caring, just being very selfish and imposing all these things on them, like governments and higher up, or even like parents with their children or something, just not letting them be free and doing what they want, just imposing all these rules and restrictions on them.
That's interesting. So you're using the animal and insect world as a metaphor or a template from what we treat each other around.
I mean, you can obviously take it as surface value, but it's kind of come from a deeper meaning. So I often like working in that way. I'm very interested.
If somebody walks past your exhibition and they laugh, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel like you've got your message across, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people, they'll stop and have a look at it, and on first glance they will find it quite funny, but then they'll kind of take a second to think, because a lot of it they can relate to because they might have done it, like cutting a worm in half with the spade or whatever, and then I think actually that's a really horrible thing to do, and it just then they start looking at it in a completely different light, which is great.
Surely you have killed a few insects, though, right?
Oh yeah, well I have to admit, the fork and the worm is me.
So when did you have this revelation of, do you know what, these guys have got something else, like, we can't just do this? What stopped you from doing the fork murders?
I don't know, it's just pretty gruesome. I think at some point, you are on the same level as them at some point, and it is a living creature, and you can't just go around doing that to things as much as a lot of people do. Don't care, but there are people out there that, like yourself, wouldn't touch a fly.
Yeah, unless it was annoying me, mate. Do you know what I mean? But okay, I ask everybody this, right? This is an artistic question.
Okay.
So you can answer it any way you want to. Would you die for your art?
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, I mean, I guess you could look at that in a lot of different ways. I mean, I just love art. Like, it is what I want to do. I've always loved it. So, in a way, that's like the way I live my life is kind of through my art. Like, that's a lot of what I'm interested in. But, I mean, I'm not sort of a fine artist or something that would go and, throw myself off a bridge in the name of art.
Right.
But, I mean, I think just being a creative, I don't know, it's such a...
I like the way you danced around it. Maybe next year you'll be able to answer that one.
I don't think, I wouldn't literally kill myself in the name of art.
Right, cool. And what's next for you? I mean, first of all, when do people find you? If anyone wants to find your art, do you have a website?
Yeah, I've got a website. It's www.annettejohns.com.
Cool.
And I've got a blog as well, which I try and update every week or two.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what's the next step for you after this graduation exhibition?
Well, I'm actually doing an internship at the moment. So I'm from the Arts University College Bournemouth, so I'm based in Bournemouth. So I'm doing that for a few months, trying to build up contacts and things, and then hopefully freelance illustrator would be good, maybe in a publishing house or something. I'm quite interested in doing book covers and things like that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm open to lots of things.
Suggestions. We love it on your time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.